Best striker you played against?
Rushy.
He scored a lot against
Yeah,
against you, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a nasty twat as well.
Why was that? Why did he
He
score?
didn't just score with his foot. He scored with his knee, his bum, his nose, his face. You know, if it hit him, it went in normally, yeah. So he's a good player. So done my knee, give me stitches in my eye. He's my fucking mate.
You made a record number of appearances for Everton, record number of appearances for Wales. You won the league twice, you won the FA Cup twice, the Cup Winners' Cup. You were the Player of the Year, Football Writers' Player of the Year, and yet you almost weren't a professional footballer.
I did loads of jobs, to be fair, when I was younger. And I was probably about 3'6". If you look at all my team pictures, the centre half's tower above me. Even from, in school, I didn't start growing till I left school, really. And in that year, I did a lot of gymnastics and I went working on building sites and things like that, and it sort of built me up. But before then, people always looked at me and said I was too small. Wrexham said I was too scruffy. Probably got a fair point.
Too scruffy?
That's what one of the lads told me. He said, yeah, we'd sign you, but you're too scruffy.
That's an important attribute a keeper should have, looking sharp.
Yeah, I suppose. When you look at the modern day one, yeah, I suppose it is. But I think I was really happy the way I came through. Because it gave me the chance to actually have a grounded life and appreciate what I had. And obviously, once you've worked for a living, a proper job, then you know if you don't work, you don't get paid, you don't eat, you don't have a place to live, you can't support your family. So yeah, it does make a difference, I think, and it makes you appreciate when you do get to become a footballer that there's a good balance to be had. You work really hard because people are paying you to work hard.
You had a fantastic international career, but you never got the opportunity to play in a big tournament with Wales. Is that one of the big regrets you might have about your career?
But not really.
No?
No, because if we were good enough, we'd have got there. I suppose it would have been a nice experience, but at the same time, I always think that as a group, if you're not good enough, you don't get there. We might have had some really good, players, but overall, we weren't good enough.
What about the European Cup? Because obviously you were part of a great Everton team, and for very sad reasons, you weren't able to compete in the European Cup. Does that frustrate you?
It frustrates me that the government were a bunch of cowards, because they could have stuck up for us, because for some reason I'm absolutely sure that British fans weren't the only troublemakers in Europe. So you've got a whole mix of people, but for some reason, let's get them out. And I think sometimes it's to do with British teams winning everything.
Really?
I do. Look at FIFA UEFA now. So, I wouldn't trust them to lie straight in bed. I wouldn't, in all fairness. Just what they are. They are a bizarre organisation that don't take football seriously. They killed grassroots, or they're trying to kill grassroots. They've killed any integrity that they had at the top level. And when you look at him now, Sepp Blatter, you're going, Del Boy in disguise. It's just Del Boy. You can see where the World Cup's going. You can see the World Cup's going to go to hot country. They'll probably end up having 2 drinks breaks, one on each half. So effectively you have 3 breaks, which will make more money because the adverts.
Commercials, sure.
Yeah, and I think it will go to 4 quarters.
What was the mood like in the Everton camp for those years, and what did your teammates think about it? Or was there a divided opinion, or did everybody look at it the same way?
We'd have gone on to dominate Europe probably for the next 5-10 years. We'd have been a massive club now. We wouldn't be in the situation we are in now. So we were still trying to catch up with everybody else now. That ruined a lot of things to a certain extent. We couldn't attract the players. We lost our manager. We lost our players. Yeah, there was a feeling of everything being unjust. But then when you look what happened, people's lives, are we losing in Europe? Not much contest really, is there?
Sure.
There's been a lot of tragedies on Merseyside. But the one thing Scousers do, they pile through it and they don't back off for anybody. And that's what I like about the city. To be an Everton or Liverpool player is really difficult, because if you don't try every week, you get absolutely hammered. You have to be determined to play in Liverpool, and you have to be consistent, and you have to have a real good sense of humour. It's a city where you have to work hard and you have to earn your money, you have to be a bit streetwise, but at the end of the day, they want to see you try every week and you to have a bit of class and a bit of steel. And that's what they like. They like people who can play, but they like people who can fight.
Let's talk about what you're doing now. I think it's fair to say you were an unconventional player in some respects. We've covered off some of the things. You did things differently. And that's true in terms of your post-playing career. You're doing something that most players, for whatever reason, don't seem to do, which is going back to your point about grassroots, getting stuck in and helping kids. What inspired you to get involved in education?
Well, I worked for several different people when I finished football, and one was a scheme to get lads back off the dole through football into work, and we only had 7, and we got 6 of them back into work. Education like football. You get a good headmaster in the Howard Kendall or Alex Ferguson mould, and then he gets a good team, and in turn that team has a good culture, and the environment is really good where you're not afraid to make mistakes, and you're all in it together, and you get that. But they don't all fit in, because you get some players who come through who are injury prone and can't play. You get some who have problems settling in the area. You have some who are homesick. You have some who are just not good enough, and they're out of their depth. And that's the same as school. It's just business is the same as football. School's the same as football. Whatever goes on now, you need a good sense of humour to work in school. You need to be incredibly patient. But as a goalkeeper for me, if I look at my back four or my team, I've got no strengths and weaknesses of all of them, and I can't talk to you the same as I talk to somebody else, because you might like a telling off. This fella might go under, so you've got to know the psychology of the players to get the best out of them.
Just like management, I guess.
Yeah. But you are managing. You're managing 10 people in front of you, because if you go manage them 10 people, you don't have to do anything. So, and that's what an effective team is. So when you come to a place like this, you try and look at the kids and go, right, okay, what's the best way of managing this child?
People think Dean Winters is thick, but I'm not thick at all. You know, I like to have a laugh and a joke, but when I want to be serious, I'll be serious.